Hello everyone, welcome back. Now we are going to do one coding exercises with respect to the functions with default parameters or default values. So we would like to write a program with a function that calculates the total price after a discount. So the function should take the original price as a required parameter and take the discount percentage as an optional parameter. So the default is 10%. So what I understand from this statement is that we need to write a function that calculates the discount. However, the discount amount by default is 10%, and there are some optional parameters that we can give, like 20, 30%, that they can calculate, the function can calculate it. So in this case, we need to have a function with a default value. Instead of having two functions, we can only write one function. So let's start from here. We start with the main function. So we print price after 10% of discount. Let's call the function calculate price. So let's go up in here to see the calculate price function. We see the name is calculate, the output is double, so it's going to return something, and it is indeed returning something. And in the parentheses, it is there are two arguments, there are two inputs. There are two arguments, one of which is price, the other one is discount. So both of them are double. However, price is a normal argument, but here the discount is a default parameter, because we are seeing that there is the equation sign here. So what it's going to do, here we are calling the function with the first argument only. So we are only sending the first argument, which is the price. We are saying that, okay, call the function for the price of 100. So 100 is set to the price here argument. Then we are going to declare a double that is called discounted price, and the discounted price equals price minus price times discount divided by 100. So it is going to give us the final price after the reduction of the discount. So it's a very straightforward formula. So what it's going to do is that, because we are calling the function only with the first argument, and since the second argument is a default parameter, so if we do not call the function with the second argument and only call it using the first argument, it's going to take 10% as the default value for the discount. So 10% is also assigned to this discount, and then the price minus, within parentheses we have price times discount divided by 100, and the final price is stored in the discounted price, and we return the discounted price here. Okay, and then we are saying that, again, see out price after 20% of discount. So let's call the same function, however with two arguments in this time. So in this time, the price is still 100. However, because the second argument of the function is a default function, we are calling the function using two arguments, and the second argument is going to overwrite this default value of 10. So now that we are calling it with 120, it's going to replace 10 with 20. So let's run the code and see how it works, and then we are going to analyze the code once more. Okay, so here we are seeing that price after 10% discount will be $90. So if you do the math, you will realize that 10% of 100% would be $10, and the reduction would be $10, and the final price would be $90. However, in the second case, because we are calling the function with the second argument as well. This 20% is going to be set to the discount instead of 10. Now discounted price equals 100 minus 100 times 20 divided by 100, and therefore the output would be 80. So the overall lesson, the key lesson of this lecture was to be aware if you are working with a default function. For example, in this case, there are two arguments for this function. The first one is a normal argument, and the second one is the optional argument, a default argument, or let's say optional. So if we call the function, we must at least have one argument, because the first one is not optional. The first one is mandatory. So you cannot write something like this. So cout the price and then calculate price. So it returns error. You see, because the first argument is a must, because it's not an optional. How do we know that it's not optional? Because it does not have an equal sign. So at least if we are calling this function, we must have one argument, okay? So if we have one argument like this, let me just comment these two lines. If we are having one argument like this, it is going to put 50 as the price and 10 as the discount by default. So let's run. Okay, we see that the price is 45. Let me just print the cout so it goes to the next line. It would be nicer. So see. Okay. So here we see that the calculated price is 50. The calculated price is called by the number 50, and then 50 is for the price, and then the discount by default is 10. So the output would be 45. And if we call it with no argument, for sure there is an error. You see, it's not working because it says that this function has one must argument. So if you're calling this function, you must have at least one argument. If you want, you can have the second argument, but this is not mandatory. For in this case, I'm going to put 20. So 20 is going to be set to the discount instead of 10. Why? Because the second argument is an optional argument. How do I know that it's an optional argument? There is an equal sign here. So let's compile again. Okay, you see, with the 10%, we had the output of 45. Now with 20%, we have the output of 40. So this is an efficient way to write only one function instead of two. So by default, it's going to take the value 10, and we can change it to 5, to 2, to whatever that we want. For example, here now it's 5. And then if we are investigating one specific case, the optional argument can be changed as we are going to call it in the int main function. So please don't forget to practice these practices, these coding exercises. In the next lecture, I'm going to do further coding exercises regarding this function with default values.